Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time's But a Window. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking with my friend Shock, who was banned from Valve servers a year ago or so for using a recoil hack, about the possibility of pros using cheats at LAN and how they'd go about doing it.
So you can see, this is what I use right here, this thing, CSGO. Once I have Visual Studio and I'll decompile it, so once you load up the Epic cheats here. It's just a
So this is
little,
the hack you were using when you got caught?
yes, it's almost the same one. The name of it, CSGO Recoil, is different. It like had anti-recoil CSGO cheat up here. And this is all it is you activate it. F6 toggle on and off. You can see the status is off right now. So I'm left clicking on my desktop. Nothing is happening. When I press F6, it turns it on. Now if I hold my left mouse button down, you can see it drags down. And it just moves down on its own, which is an anti-recoil cheat. It doesn't attach to anything. It's just a process that's running on the computer. It's a
So it
visual.
just drags down, doesn't drag left and right?
It does not drag left or right. It just drags straight down. Now, what I did when I was playing, because I mean I wasn't trying to be too advantageous, is you can slow it down to its slowest point, right there. And that's all I did. And for 6+ months, I used this like this.
What I thought was funny, Shock,
Yeah.
is when we were playing, right, like you had some really good recoil control with your M4.
Mm-hmm.
So I would literally practice before playing with you every day.
Mm-hmm.
Go into a recoil server and just practice my fucking recoil over and over and over.
I'm trying to get that down.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see you can just by modifying that and increase the drop in recoil. Now I wasn't trying to make it obvious because I didn't want to get banned too quickly, and obviously just because you could see it. And it was a pain in the arse too, because whenever I went to frickin' buy something too, I'd click on a menu and it would drag down and I couldn't buy anything. So putting on the lowest setting was always helpful in that respect. But I mean, this is all I did, as I had it at this setting, and it made such a minor adjustment to the gameplay.
And so you think that Michi, what was his name, Michu?
A couple shots in there at the start of the game with M4 where he fires a 2-shot burst and the recoil is going down. So it's like he might be using something that is such on a low setting, like what I was using, that like this, that it's nearly undetectable to the human eye. And what you can do is, if you really wanted this to be undetectable, is applications like my Logitech mouse allows for, wherever the camera is there. It's a wireless Logitech mouse. You go into the gaming features here and you would just code a macro. And you're like, oh, macros are basic in these mouse things. No, they're actually quite advanced. You go up to the default profile here and if you know how to code a script, you can code a script here that's even more advanced than this little Visual Basic script right here, and it's because it's running inside Logitech. It's most likely never going to be even noticed.
Do you think if they made it so that mice with a macro ability like this and onboard memory were not allowed at tournaments, that it would get rid of all the cheaters?
At a LAN tournament, you don't have the time to go in and sit there and customize and configure your keyboard settings. I mean, you're not going to sit there and code a Visual Basic script, a script in the Logitech environment. I'm sure people are watching. I'm hoping the computers are locked down to a certain degree where they're not installing applications on them. I mean, if you all want to be serious about the gaming professions, and like you have to take this kind of stuff serious, allowing for mice, keyboards that do have this kind of scripting functionality into it, if you want to be serious about it, then yeah, you're going to have to find a way either to prevent it.
Do you think that they could make advanced aimbot scripts, or not aimbot, recoil scripts that would track full movements of like an entire AK spray or like an entire M4 spray?
You could take a mouse. This is like a computer. You could take this apart, put a chip in it that has an application coded into it that says when I left click, it does this function. And it would never be residing on, because that's what this application right here is. This application, this I mean, it's a standalone application. You could code into a mouse, a custom built mouse. I mean, you'd have to be pretty damn smart on how to do that, but you can, absolutely. And then you could take it with you to a LAN tournament, plug it in. No one ever know. You click that mouse button, you have a little recoil.
What about more like advanced type things? Would they be able to program something on a mouse, sort of like
an aimbot? Yeah,
an aimbot,
absolutely.
Maybe not a wall hack, but something that would like toggle onto people through walls And
I've never actually coded like anything like that in my entire life to that degree.
because back when I used to play competitively and earlier, we didn't have mice that had like memory on board and stuff. Like there was
Hmm.
no possible way you could put something like that on there. They didn't have macros. They didn't have any of that.
Hmm.
You were basically like using, wheel mouse optical, and
Yeah.
you just kind of go in there, and there was no way to cheat on LAN. And now there are ways to get around admins and stuff because if you have it on the mouse, you're allowed to plug in your mouse. Obviously, you're probably allowed to install your drivers.
Wasn't there that one event where people were going to the Steam Workshop, and if you had subscribed to the Steam Workshop, it was downloading all these cheats onto the computers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a
and they were trying to do that at a LAN tournament? Oh,
there
you
was a
guys killed
story
me.
where there was a specific map on the Steam Workshop, and if you went to the map and you did something, I don't remember what exactly the article said, but basically, if you did some specific thing on that map, it would like download the hack straight onto your computer or enable the hacks right on your computer, and you'd just be like playing at a LAN. Well, and that's just pretty ridiculous. But now at least that is not allowed at tournaments anymore, as far as I know.
Allowing the workshop and everything.
Yeah, you're not allowed to go into workshop maps and download things while you're at tournaments anymore like that. You give them a list of drivers um, that you're going to need. They have to approve it, and then once they approve it. But that being said, if you already had it programmed as a macro on your mouse, it seems like even if you just have the driver on there, it's automatically going to work. I could post a video like about what we just talked about on YouTube for like my viewers, and they would probably really like it.
Go for it. I mean, this is like I love gaming. I love video games. I love Counter-Strike. I played it since 1.3 and before Steam ID was even Steam was around. Steam IDs, one IDs. I love the game. I was mad when CS:GO came out because Source was a great game, and then they just reskinned it and made this entire community of, hey, let's go put all these skins on and make all this money. But then you have an anti-cheat system that doesn't work, and then you have to go to Overwatch, which is actually
Code Logitech anti-recoil script right into it. This is on the forum, the same website that I got the anti-recoil cheat from. What do you know? There is a way of coding macros in Logitech so your mouse is with XML file. That can't get detected. I'm sure there is a way to detect it. There's got to be. I'm going to download that and test it, but I'm going to assume no, there is a macro in here somewhere. So this is that's just the basic stuff. That's not even what I'm looking for. This is, damn, that's this one here. So there's the guy with the recoil off. Here's the recoil on. I mean, you can do it that way too without even having to go in and code using the actual script. You can do it the basic way, but at the same time, you can make a much more advanced one using this compiler here. I guarantee that it's out there. Mouse 3 is pressing the wheel. HK scripts, whatever those are. I mean, here it is. The mouse button is pressed. Move the mouse to these coordinates. Then you plug it in and it works. And the reason it's not working is because he's trying to use it on G600 when it was coded for G300? G300. So, yeah. It's possible. You just need to know how. And that's a huge problem. Huge problem.